Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Tuesday night, it is -7, it is very, very cold, hence the scarf still. And tonight I want to talk about what I call the memory book. Now, for many of us, this Christmas is going to be a much more frugal affair than we've maybe had in the last few years. So, one of the things that may be a suitable Christmas present, especially for people of a certain age, would be what I call a memory book. Now, it's not like the memory book that they use in care homes to try and keep people's memories going. All this is a notepad and a pen and a little handwritten note to say, please tell me your memories. And why I'm thinking this way is, apart from the fact that that doesn't particularly cost much if you're struggling to get someone a present, but also for your family. And it was Mum that said this a few years ago. She was one of three, and she was the last one left. Well, still is the last one left. And her sister died when I was 21 with cancer. And her brother died probably when I was in my 40s. And Mum was sitting there going, but I'm the only one. Who knows about our family? Who knows that my father was killed in an accident in the Clyde shipyards? Who knows that my grandma, the person she's married to, is not actually my grandfather, it's my step-grandfather, and her family disowned them because she came from money and he was a tram driver. Little silly things like that. For Patrick and I, Patrick is from a large family based in Glasgow. I'm from an exceptionally small family based in Perthshire, in the rural bits. And there's a whole different world there. There's a whole different way of doing things that we did as kids. There's a whole different world of memories. And I think to lose them would be a shame. So, if you can, if there is someone of a certain age who you're looking to get a wee minding, just a little present for, just to say Happy Christmas, why not ask them for their memories? And for some, possibly they won't be able to write, so maybe giving them some time to sit and chat and record those chats and maybe type them up, write them up on the computer, so that your family's got that. Things just now, one of the other things I remember is my dad's uncle was in a tied house. He was the farm manager. Aunt Nessie was a traditional Scottish farming housewife. You know, she baked all her own bread, made her own clothes, member of the rural, all that sort of, gave Highland dancing lessons. My dad was really good at Highland dancing. Things like that. Now, they had one son. He died when I was in my 30s. There's not many people to remember that family. And I think it's a huge loss to us as families if we don't. And even if you don't have family, write it down anyway. Yes, sometimes it will get thrown out in a house clearance if someone dies. But other times it will get picked up. And there is people like in local libraries, etc., who love that sort of thing. Who are actively looking for that sort of thing. Send it to your local library. Keep a record of your family. Don't let them go. And ask those people of a certain age. Ask them what they did when they were a kid. What was their favourite memory? What was one of the things that they remember? What fashions did they wear? What music did they listen to? What was their favourite meal? What was their favourite meal when they got older and could afford whatever they wanted? Because a lot of the time there's a very big difference between what people of our age had as children and what we now eat. So yeah, all these questions, all these histories, and it's the perfect time when we're all struggling and money is tight. Give people a memory book, ask them for their memories. Even if they're not that old. I have friends here who came over from Poland over 15 years ago as 18-year-olds. What a change that was. What was their life like in Poland? What's their family's life like who are still there? Is there a difference? There's many integrated relationships in this country, whether it be integrated through colour, race, religion, country of origin. There's so many stories out there. Let's tell them. And why not, if you're looking for something to start the conversation when you're there on Christmas Eve or Christmas night, why not ask someone? Especially when it's the older generation. I remember reading somewhere that an immigrant family into America, the father had brought his wife over, they had children went to American school. The father, obviously, as an immigrant and probably undocumented for quite a while, he just worked. He worked all the hours God sent. And he never particularly became bilingual. And by the time he went for Christmas with his children and his grandchildren, he was left out of the conversation because he didn't speak the language. And they were all chattering amongst themselves. Don't be that one. Don't leave anybody out. Ask the questions. Compare what's happening. Even things like, when was the last time you had weather like this? Because, oh my goodness, it's been a while for me. Have to say, I had the fan running for half an hour today. It still did not heat up. The reason being, it froze, which we only found out when I had to drive to Perth and the engine nearly cut out. Temperature gauge way up there. Thankfully, my father was a mechanic and I knew to stop, let the heat of the engine melt the water, do the thing. So we sat for about half an hour. Then we went the next 3 miles to get into the entrance to Perth, into the park and ride, and we sat there. And then I phoned Patrick to come and get me, which he did, and thankfully we were all good. So yes, that's my thing for tonight. So many of us are going to struggle for Christmas. A memory book is a great thing, and it's a great thing for your family. So yeah, let's see if we can't start some memories. Catch you later.